Hey folks, Bridges here. Today we're going to be hooking up our micro servos to our microbit, and with the intention of using the microbit's inputs to control the output servos that are attached. So I'm going to switch my camera view over and I'm going to take a look inside of our little electronics toolkit here. So I'm here at table 2 with Jordan near me, and we're opening up. And I'd like for you guys to go right along with me. We're going to start out by getting our breadboard ready. And we're going to look for our breakout board right here. And we're going to attach our breakout board to, really, I'm going to attach it to one of the first rows, the first column in this right-hand side. I'll show you. I'm going to take these pins on the breakout board, and I'm going to attach them in this first column to the right of the ravine or the ditch up the middle of the breadboard there. So I'm just plugging it in right just like that. Okay. Now the reason I chose to plug it in there is for a couple of reasons. Number one, each one of these pins on the breakout boards is now plugged into its own separate row on the breadboard. So you've got 4 positions to connect to each one of these pins. Yes? Makes sense? All right, the reason I chose over here versus somewhere over here is, well, it's just to have a little bit of stability so this thing, right, isn't like hanging off the edge and causing it to maybe bend. We don't want to bend those pins. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our microbit and we're going to turn it to where the button side is up. And you're going to take these this connection strip, this edge here, and it inserts into the side of the breakout board. It takes a little bit of force, but not too much. Just like that. All right. So now we're going to plug our microbit in to our computer. And we're going to download the code that we have already written. If you don't have the code already, or as a matter of fact, it's probably a good idea if we all just we're just going to write a test code together. So let's all go to make code. I don't remember the URL. Makecode.microbit. Maybe Microsoft is in there. I don't know. But if you just Google make code, you'll find it. I am. Okay. I'm turning mine the other way.
Is that the USB?
That's the USB, and you can see that it's powered on now. I'm going to flip over and I'm just going to type in make code. You can Google it if you need to. And as I was saying, we're just going to create a test program just to test to see if our servo motor runs. So let's all just go and create a new project on make code. And I'm going to call it servo test. And on start, we need to first add the servo library, which is under extensions. We've done this before. And we're going to look in the servos toolbox once it's added. We're not using a positional servo yet. Right now we're doing the drive wheels for our RC car. So we're using the continuous servos. And we'll just take this regular continuous servo pin P0 at 50%, and we're just going to drop that in for the forever, for now. So this is all our code is for now. Basically, when we hit go, it should just be turning our servo, yes? Yes. It doesn't depend on any inputs. It doesn't need anything. It's just going to turn the servo. Okay? So now, let's flip back over. Here, and let's wire it up. Perhaps I should show you how to wire it up using this first. Okay. So once we've created our program, if we refresh our browser, it should show us how to wire up the servos using MakeCode, the simulator. While that loads, help me remember, on the servo itself, you've got 3 wires, yes? Okay, we've got a brown one, a yellow one, and a red one. Where does the brown wire go?
Negative.
It goes to GND, which means ground, okay? And that is the battery, that shares the term, that's the battery negative, okay? Where does the red one go? 3 volts, okay? 3 volts, which is the battery positive. Now, in this simulator here, what we're looking at is the servo is getting its power from the microbits, 3 volts, and it's ground, it's negative, yes?
Yeah.
We are actually going to have our own battery pack specifically for the servo motors. We're not going to pull the power off of the servo. Does that make some sense? Okay. And then the last wire is yellow or orange. Where does it go to?
0 or 1.
That's the 0. That is the signal wire. So that is where our code comes from. That's where we're telling it to turn on this servo connected to P0 at 50%. Does that make sense? The only other thing that I want to change is I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to show you an example. You don't have to go to this website, but I'm going to go to tinkercad.com and I'm going to show you how we're going to use our own dedicated battery specifically for this. Okay? It looks like this. This is what you should be building. Remember, I said we're not going to use the onboard 3 volts from the microbit. We're going to use a dedicated battery. So I'm going to erase this servo here. I'm going to get rid of that guy. I'm going to keep this one here. So just like you were saying, the black wire goes over here to the negative rail. Okay. The red wire comes over here to the positive rail. Except we're not going to connect to the 3 volts from the microbit, are we? Okay. Where did I say we're going to get power from? A separate battery. That's right. So I'm going to use this battery here. Okay. I'm going to put it down below, just like that. And there's going to be 4 batteries in here. If each AA battery is 1.5 volts, which it says right on it, how many volts would 4 batteries connected in series? It would be 6 volts.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to take my 6 volt battery and I'm going to power up my positive rail by attaching it there. And I like making that red wire. Does the color of the wire really matter?
No.
It really doesn't. It doesn't matter what color plastic is on the outside, but it is good habit to go ahead and get red and black for positive and ground if you can. And we can. So now, look, our servo is getting power directly from the battery. And, this is important, we have to share a ground. We've got to have the ground from the microbit sharing with the ground from the battery and the ground from the servo. They all have to be connected. Okay? The only other thing is that yellow wire, and that goes over to the battery, the breakout board, pin 0, which is the microbit pin 0. Yes? Okay? So now, if you've got this, I'm gonna start the simulation just to test it. That's good practice. Okay? Oops, I didn't set my code up on this one, did I? Okay. Bless you. I'll go back here. And it does work when I start forever. Okay, turn that servo at 50%. So we're ready to download that code. You guys know how to download the code? To the thing, yes. I'm going to pause the video right now. Where's my video? Where's my loom? Okay, so we've wired up the microbit and the servo. I'm going to zoom out here a little bit and show you what we've got. So from the servo, we've got 3 wires that we just talked about. The yellow wire goes up to the pin P0 on the breakout board. Okay, pin P0 is under, it's the 4th one down. Ground, ground, 3 volts, and then pin P0. That's the output signal from the microbit. Okay, that's the yellow wire. Then we've got the red and the black for the servo, receiving power from the batteries, red and black. And I'm using a 4-cell battery, which is equal to 6 volts. Okay? Then I've got one more common wire, and that is connecting the microbits ground, so the G and D, over to the common ground of the battery and the servo. So all of our grounds are connected. The brown on the servo, the black on the battery, and the ground on the microbit are all connected in that negative rail. Okay? At this point, we're going to jump back over. We're going to jump back over to our make code, and we're going to download our code. My microbit is connected with its USB cable. I'm going to click the 3 dots. I'm going to connect the device. I'm going to say next. I'm going to pair it, and I'm going to choose the microbit and hit connect. Now once it's connected, we can go ahead and download the code by clicking the download button. And we can check in real life, does our servo motor start spinning? It should be spinning right now because our microbit is telling constantly turn pin P0 to make turn on pin P0 to make the servo spin. So this is not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make an adjustment. It could be that your servo is turning, maybe it's acting sporadically. You can actually adjust these servos. I don't want you doing it because they're pretty fragile, and I'm going to adjust it with the hole in the bottom, and it's not actually doing anything. Maybe that's because I don't have any batteries in. I should probably plug in my batteries, huh? Okay, so when I plugged in you'll notice when I plugged in my battery, my servo starts freaking out, man. Starts freaking out. And I want it to be running, so I'm going to adjust it to where it is running.
Okay, I keep going.
So there it goes. My servo is running constantly because I told it to with my program. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and unplug it because it's annoying. Now, hopefully this video was helpful. If it wasn't, good luck. No, I'm just playing. You can see me in class and I'll help you.